Hi, I'm Wendy with Learning Resources. Let's take a look at hands-on standards, photo illustrated lessons for teaching with math manipulatives. It's a professional handbook series for classroom teachers or for even math specialists. There are 4 books in the series, just based on grade level, grades pre-K-K, 1, 2, grades 3, 4, and grades 5, 6. All the books closely align with the NCTM standards, which then of course align with your state standards for math. You'll see all the coverage here across all the math strands as well as the individual math skills. These books are really about helping you make the most of any manipulatives that you may already have in your classroom. There are kits of manipulatives available to go with these books, but they really use the common manipulatives you probably already have. And of course, when kids get their hands on manipulatives, as you can see in these photos, they're truly engaged and they really do understand those math concepts that can sometimes be a little bit too abstract for children. Let's take a close-up look of the pre-K-K sample lesson. You'll see it's a very simple 2-page lesson format. The left-hand side of the page introduces the lesson and extends the lesson. The right-hand side of the page is the true hands-on activity portion of the lesson. So let me walk you through this. On the left, you'll see the basic information you'd expect to see in a lesson plan, the objective, the skills you're covering. What you also get here, though, it's very transparent, the exact standards from NCTM and, of course, from your state standards that you're going to be covering in this lesson. This lesson is about very early fraction concepts being taught, again, at the pre-K-K level. The lesson's about identifying halves, which you'll see here at the top, and you'll also get a bit of background knowledge. These books are truly for the mainstream classroom teacher who wants to become more comfortable teaching math, so you get that background knowledge so you can study up ahead of time. Next, you follow the yellow arrow to the right-hand side of the page, which is the try it activity for the students. It starts off with a real-life story problem, very key practical application to real life. And then the lesson, the steps in the activity are clearly described, but you see photo illustrations of exactly what the child should be doing each step of the way. Step 1, 2, 3. In this case, students are using pattern blocks to explore fraction concepts, and they're going to be using a black line master. And let me flip forward just so you can get a close-up view of what that master looks like. So they're going to be overlaying the manipulative onto the master and then also coloring in part of the master. So this is key because you can use that paper as an assessment piece if you wish. One of my favorite parts of these lessons is the look out feature. This is kind of a look inside of a child's mind because it helps you anticipate any problems that the child might have, and it gives you tips on how to troubleshoot with the kids who may be stumbling on those issues. So then you move back to the left-hand side of the page. So after the children have worked in small groups on the triad activity, you'll come together as a larger class, and then you'll start talking about what kids will talk about what they did in the triad activity. So, and then you'll ask them to revisit the the problem that they solved during the triad. So you'll be discussing the solution for the problem too. More ideas is simply ways to extend the lesson. And then lastly, you get a bit of a more formal assessment because kids are going to practice a question type that would be similar to something they'd see on a standardized test that would be tied to this particular skill. So here they're going to be coloring in half of a green circle on a piece of paper, and again you'll have another pencil paper assessment. This is also key because children in the standardized practice activity as well as the black line master activity and the last step in the try it are learning how to transition away from using the manipulative to pencil and paper, which will better help them prepare for that pencil and paper test.